Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, and this is part 5 of a very interesting and, I'm moving my camera a little bit, a very interesting and amazing unboxing from Todd. Todd, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you letting me check your knives out. This is the LANSKY TM1, and if you were paying attention, I was just trying to use it like a liner lock, and it's a back lock. I just, ooh, that is so smooth. Holy cow. I just opened it up for this video. I literally took it out of the box and went bang. Man, this thing is stupid good. Ooh, did I get myself? You got to be careful because when you unlock it, you got to hold it up nice and high, but see how close it is to getting you. So you want to be careful and make sure you're holding it right. If you're holding it right, you're safe. G10 integral. Oh, I think this is an integral. Look at this. It's all one solid piece of G10. Very nice G10. It is very comfortable. The action is so smooth. It feels like there's a detent, but it's just the back lock, but it's extremely smooth. Once you get past here, this is like glass. And then from here to here, oh, I love that sound. It just locks in place, and now it is it's a rock. Very, very solid. Super comfortable in the hand. Man, LANSKY, they really got their ergos down, man. This is so comfortable. The clip is a small clip, and it is, I think it's reversible. I would imagine it is. It is a smaller clip, but I bet it works just fine. And even though this has a nice tall ramp, it lands in a spot that I don't feel it at all. Ooh, shoot. I did cut myself. I went to choke up just now, and it bit me. See that? So it's not a choil to use. Let me cover that up really quick so YouTube doesn't strike me. Lucky I'm never more than just a couple feet away from a Band-Aid or a first aid kit. But yeah, this edge is, this is a good factory edge. That's one thing, and it is a nice sharp edge. It is a robust grind, yet I can tell that this thing, because of the ergos, it makes sense. This would be a fantastic slicer, but the way this choil is, it makes you want to choke up, but it's not made for choking up. Now, you could go right over the top of the flipper tab like this for push cuts. You're perfectly safe, but you don't want to use it like this, in my opinion. Otherwise, you can get bit like I did. Beautiful blade shape, man. Oh, this is such a great blade shape, but I just keep wanting to use it like a liner lock. And then with the unlocking it like this, you don't want to hold it down here because it will bite you. You got to make sure you're holding it nice up and nice and tight, and then you'll be just fine. Man, look at how smooth that is. So smooth. This is awesome. This is a really cool knife. I could see people really liking this one. Let me get to the next one. Oh, by the way, that's Sharpening steel. Sharpening steel. I don't know much about Sharpening steel, and it is on bearings. That is why it is so smooth. Sharpening steel. I don't know a lot about it. I have not had any of it. I don't think I've ever had any Sharpening steel. Next, we have the TWOSUN TS21, I believe. Yes, the 21. I don't know a lot about this one. D2 steel. Very smooth. Great flipping action. Yes, very, very smooth. We have a very long titanium milled pocket clip. The thing that's interesting is that this is all flatheads. No torques. It has basically, it's very similar to Hinder's pivot. This is exactly how Hinder's pivot is. Detent is, well, the flipper tab is really up high, so it gives you a ton of leverage into that flip. Access to the lock bars, very generous. Ergos, nice and comfortable for, you know, the type of shape it is. So very nice. blade grind is more robust, but this is one of their older models, so I would expect that. But it's very good for its time when they were making knives. Like, this is a very acceptable grind, and it's definitely very useful. You definitely use this without an issue. Very cool. This is definitely it's slim and well built for sure. So this I could see being a really good model for a lot of people. Not a good choil. The plunge grind could be way better, but it has a lot of potential is what I see. A ton of potential. And the flipping action is really, really good. Access to lock bar is super good. And you can see they have a steel lock bar insert. Very awesome. Let's get to the next one. Next, the CIVIVI Brigand. I did actually review and sharpen one of these from Lavender Pants. Lavender Pants 86. Shout out to Lavender Pants. This is a great example of a good knife. Just a really solid knife. Fantastic flipping action. Beautiful finger choil / sharpening choil. Amazing geometry for a flat grind because this is a flat grind. You can see how thin it gets. Fantastic blade shape for utility cuts. The ergos are really nice. It has a contoured shadow box G10 scales, reversible pocket clip, T8 hardware all the way around. The clip winds up working out really good. Access to the liner is really nice. The flipper tab, the shape of it is really, really nice. It does have somewhat of a lighter detent, but because of the shape of the flipper tab, I mean, you can snap it out there without a problem. You would never fail it without trying to, like I was. So very, very cool. This is a solid knife. CIVIVI, you guys should know it. CIVIVI. CIVIVI doesn't really do bad anything. There's some stuff that could be better or more impressive, but never bad. Never, never bad. You can't go wrong with a CIVIVI. Next, we have the Roper Knives Buffalo Warrior. This is super interesting. All right, cool. Check this guy out. Look at how low, this has got to be assisted. Look at how low this flipper tab is. Was that assisted? No. How is it doing that? Holy cow. Holy cow. What? This detent, it just doesn't make sense to me. It feels assisted. I'm trying to fail it. I don't understand how they got that to work like that, because I do get like that they can put a flipper tab here, right? And this scoops up right here and goes up and over. So when you're pulling down here, you're technically pulling down above the pivot. But usually the lower this is right here, when it's lower than the center of the pivot, you're losing more and more leverage when you do that. This, it kicks out perfectly well. And if I want to, like if I try it, I mean, this is not a knife that you would ever fail, because even trying to fail, it still opens up reliably. That's crazy. Bet I could reverse flick it. Nope. I can, but it's slippery. D2 steel, beautiful clip point blade. Ergos are fantastic. You know what? It feels like a buck 110. That's what it feels like in my hand. Possibly a little bit more comfortable, slightly slimmer in the areas that you probably want. But these edges are awfully sharp. Lots of milling. So we have, oh wow, look, this is what, look, I was going to say this thing's very, very light for the way it looks. Look at why. Look at all that milling. Tons of milling. The liner, I don't know how reliable this would be. Tiny, tiny smidgen of rock. Or actually, sorry, blade play. No, I'm messing up. No, it's a tiny bit of lock rock. The lock is actually moving slightly. And the liner, you know what else is weird? This liner is not overly strong, which I would expect it to be with this type of action. The liner is very gentle, very soft, very easy to move over. It has really good drop on it, very smooth on the drop. The detent, it must, man, let me see this detent. Nice big detent ball. That's what's helping a lot. It has a very nice, big, generous detent ball, which is helping it kick out. Super interesting. I gotta move on. Get to the next one. Next is one of my most favorite rake knives ever, the Rike P801. I love this knife. I used to have the raw stainless one. This is the black coated one. 14C 28M blade steel. I do have a full review up. It was old. Like, this was when we first started the channel. This was one of our first knives, like nice knives. But it is so good. The action is ridiculously good. You don't want to put no fingers on the lock bar because you will lock yourself out. But if you keep off of that lock bar, the thumb stud action is fantastic. And it does have coned thumb studs, kind of like a Sebenza. However, you do have, it is a little bit better than Sebenza's thumb studs, to be honest. So they're not too coned, but yes, they are kind of pointy. They're just not as pokey as Sebenza's. Ergos are just super slim. It is very slim. I'm not even gonna pretend like it has amazing ergos or anything like that, because it doesn't. It's very, very slim and narrow, but it's nice and slicey. So it has decent geometry. It takes a very, very sharp edge. Detent is super well tuned. And right now I am trying to talk them into making a titanium version of this. And I think they're going to go. I think they're going to do it. I'm trying to talk them into keeping the 14C28N and just making it a titanium frame lock. I think that people would love that, because this is a great EDC knife. It's a great work knife. It's a great everything, because it's super slim, very easy to carry in the pocket, and super fast deployment. Get it out, make your cuts, put it back in the pocket. It's a fantastic knife for that. And yeah, it's a great user. It's like I said, it's not going to be like a long duty cutter where you're using it all day, because it doesn't have the handle to support that. But for just basic EDC stuff, man, this thing is so good. Such a good knife. I'm so happy to get to check some of these knives out that I haven't seen in a long time, because it, you know, I wonder sometimes, because I wound up giving it away to one of my nephews, but it makes me wonder. I almost bought another one, so that says a lot. But it makes me wonder sometimes, like, how I would feel. Whoa. Let me just finish my sentence. It makes me wonder how I would feel about a knife today that I thought about, you know, before, you know, a couple years ago. The Benchmade Anthem. Possibly the best, I'll even just say it, the best access lock on the market. Why? Why is this the best access lock on the market? Now, I will say that there are some really good access locks now. So, such good ones like that. There's some companies that have basically redesigned the access lock to where it has more of a detent. This has no detent, but it's super duper smooth. These are on bearings, and it has an access lock that's not on omega springs. So the biggest problem with an access lock is the omega springs. The omega springs wrap around here. They're just an omega spring, and it can break. When it breaks, you got to get them replaced. This is an integral access lock that has a spring like that instead of an omega spring. See the spring? So since it's a different type of spring system, it's very smooth, very consistent, and it almost feels like it would be weak because it's so easy to pull down. But it has that reliable spring pushing it up. So this is going to be a super strong, super tough knife. Way tougher than I think anybody can imagine, but nice blade shape, beautiful blade shape, a little bit robust on the grind, but it's okay because it does have the titanium integral and locking mechanism to support it, but yet it's still going to be plenty slicey. I have seen people modify these. This is a great knife. This is a prototype version. Wow, from 2017. Most people wind up replacing this clip because they all say it looks like something like a penis. So, but a lot of people replace that clip. It doesn't bother me at all. I don't really care. You guys just, you guys are just so childish. Next, the Spyderco Resilience. I've never tried one of these. I've always wanted to try one. It is a liner lock because I've only tried like one Spyderco liner lock, and that was a Tenacious, and I didn't even get to check it out for long. It was at a knife shop. So did I get to really try one? Not really. It is stiff though, I will say that, and smooth at the same time. It feels like it's brand new, like it needs to break in. You see how it's not drop shutty at all, but I can easily reverse flick it. You just got to give it a little thwack. Thumb flick is pretty easy. Very nice to slow roll. It is a liner lock. Very, very strong lockup. Very solid. It is FRN though, so you're going to get a little bit of flex if you grab, you know, from one side to the other. Not a big deal. 8CR, 13 MOV steel. This is a very affordable Spyderco, and this is an amazing blade shape. This would be a mega good user for anybody. Like this thing, one, it's going to be nice and slicey, even though it's thicker behind the edge, because it's a full flat grind and the geometry, the way it goes, they're not using crazy thick blade stock. So this would slice so good. And the ergos are really, really nice in the hand. You know, typical Spyderco plunge where it just goes all the way to the plunge. So this might be a little bit more difficult to sharpen only because it goes all the way back to this handle, and the handle's kind of in the way. So I'd almost recommend putting in a notch. But the one benefit to it is that you never catch on anything. You could just sit there and just keep doing repeat cuts. This would be a perfect like recycling knife or cardboard destroyer. Blade shape is fantastic for like utility cuts, push cuts, slicing, just everything, man. This is a fantastic user. Now let's really test out the action with my lefty, because if I can't do it lefty, it's not the best. Oh, I could. That's actually surprising. I didn't think I was going to be able to. Wow. So it's okay. It's not bad. I could do it lefty. That's how we used to check it back in the day. If you could do it with your non-dominant hand, then it was good. And it's not the best, but it's breaking in probably on, yep, phosphor bronze washers. It will definitely get smoother. This thing just needs to break in. That's it. Eventually, that will be incredibly smooth. Next. Ooh, I get another one. Another off-grid knife. This one is the I don't know. This one's the I don't know. Ooh, this is one of their titanium models. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. M390 steel. I'm guessing we did this one because I think we does their titanium frame locks and Best Tech does their budget knives. That's just a guess. Detent. A little light. It might just need some oil or something, but it is still reliable. Like I would never fail this without trying. So it is still snappy. The ergos are really nice. I feel this corner quite a bit, but it's still pretty nice. And all right, we are going to end it here. Part 6 is coming soon. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Todd, you're amazing, man. Peace.